Hello everyone and welcome to Transforming Aerospace Product Development with Jama Connect for Airborne Systems. My name is Marie and I will be the host for today's webinar. We will walk you through Jama Connect for Airborne Systems and explore how this solution can help commercial aviation, unmanned systems or military aircraft systems teams to build safer aircrafts. Before we begin, we wanted to cover a few housekeeping items with you. First, at the bottom of your screen are multiple application engagement tools that you can use. All those engagement tools are resizable and movable, so feel free to move them around to get the most out of your desktop space. You can also expand your presentation area or maximize it to full screen by clicking on the arrows in the top right corner. If you have any questions during the webcast, you can submit them through the Q&A engagement tool. We will try to answer these live during the webcast, but if a fuller answer is needed or we run out of time, it will be answered later via email. Please know that we do capture all questions. You can also find additional answers to some common technical issues located in the Help widget at the bottom of your screen. As a reminder, a copy of today's slide deck and additional help materials are available in the resource list. Now, let me give you some background information about our speakers. So first, with more than 2 decades of process and systems engineering work in the aerospace and defense industry, Carrie Brixek has developed a sharp eye on how organizations get mired with inefficiencies, cross-purposes, and miscommunication, and how they can retool to become a sleeker, more strategically focused organization. As Jama Software Solution Lead for Aerospace and Defense, she helps organizations improve their systems engineering disciplines using modern techniques to help them compete in the marketplace. David is an industry veteran in digital transformation. He is the principal solution architect for aerospace and defense at Jama with a background in enterprise PLM on both the industry and software provider sides. David is focused on helping firms utilize their data and digital capabilities to deliver products and services effectively. They both have a great presentation to share with you today, so I'll let them start their presentation and walk you through the agenda.
Great, thank you, and welcome everyone to the webinar. Today, I'd like to walk you through a few things, kind of whet your appetite a little bit, and then we're going to hand off to Carrie, and she's going to show you the actual demo, the picks and clicks, and see how all this information can be put to use for your team. So when we talk to our friends in the field, customers, peers, subject matter experts, we hear a lot about the increase in complexity required to design new products and systems. Some of the things we tend to hear, we hear about development cycles. They're increasingly complex, and this is driving need for automation and more modern tools. Cross-domain collaboration is not really happening very much. There's different tools and processes in the different groups and different domains and things that they use that really don't play nice together. The connected products and systems that we're developing right now, they're not just complicated. They also inject significant risk into the certification process. Ensuring compliance and safety systems is really, it's difficult and time consuming. That is just not changing, and it's all these different items. It's just kind of piling on there. The regulatory environment is changing. We're seeing changes that are coming from things like urban air mobility and other technology drivers that's driving changes to the regulatory environment. And we're really seeing rapid changes within the market itself. So there's a number of different drivers that are changing the dynamics of system development. A couple of examples, the push into electric propulsion. It's very rapid. Right now, the improvements in battery technology is really driving down costs. And the idea of commercial hybrid electric flight is very much in sight. Urban air mobility, I mentioned that kind of is one of the new things coming out in the last slide. Those vehicles are expected to accelerate over the next decade. However, there's a lot of challenges that need to be worked out, and the regulations need to be established. So back to that idea of the regulatory environment is changing over time. And this is to make sure things are airworthy and also the use of the airspace itself, over our heads. So the question is are you ready to meet these new challenges? You know, are your requirements, tools, and processes ready? So I thought we'd take a little bit of a walk through the idea of requirements management maturity, just to kind of start to set the table. The most basic approach that we tend to see is a document-based approach. And even if the documents are digital, your typical Microsoft Office formats, Word, PowerPoint, things like that, the utility to the firm is limited. And documents tend to get stuck in silos. Quite often, this is, things are thrown in a share folder. Things are maybe thrown in SharePoint if you're lucky. And this really doesn't get you where you need to go. The visibility and collaboration across your organization is limited. It's, those that are in the know, those that have the right access. And then we talk about scalability. Well, it's non-existent. I mean, think about having to bring together all the various domains while managing the access control, the editing rights, revisions over time. It's just not achievable. And compliance, it's Herculean. Folks have to throw massive amounts of time trying to pull together all this information from all these different sources to try to present the package of information that's necessary to achieve certification. The next area that we tend to see is the idea of legacy tools. And those using legacy tools tend to be very much straddled with outdated technology. The modern multi-domain system development processes, they're not supported with legacy tools. And this extends into the world of software. We're seeing software everywhere. Everything has software in it now. The legacy tools have very limited ability to support variants of Agile. Like SAFe or Scrum, depending on the flavor, the variant that your firm might use. And those legacy tools tend to have been developed with a specific focus. As a result, when they're used outside of that area of origin, I'm going to try and use this for Agile. I'm going to try and use it for maybe electronics or something. It's sort of like a square peg in a round hole. Things don't really work very well. So our next step is the most mature process is a data centric. And this isn't just a goal. This is today. This is available today. Firms that are data centric, they're able to ensure they have a single source of truth. They don't have multiple versions of those documents floating around in email or in shared folders or different SharePoint collections. They're able to use model-based approaches to allow their teams to digitally model and relate information together. This gains a lot of benefit from those digital connections of the different artifacts and information. We can extend this into integrations with the other systems in the design cycle. I mean, there's more than one tool used to design products, right? And being able to feed those requirements to the mechanical folks that use CAD, feeding it to the simulation folks that are doing high fidelity and low fidelity simulation, and downstream to the folks that are doing testing. This adds more value. And this really feeds right into the integrated and having those integrated and data-centric processes. Those firms now have traceability. Now we can look back from the physical product, the finished product that comes off the assembly line with a serial number. We can look back to the individual design features that were determined that are necessary along the way, and back to the individual requirements that drove the decisions to design a product. And collaboration is enhanced and is supporting real-time feedback, knowing what's going on, having modern capabilities like @mentions, as you're able to chat right within your tools, having the ability to review things in a much more robust manner. Digital transformation is the goal for all the firms. And if you want to lead the industry, and if you want to transform the airborne industry, how are you going to do that? How are you going to get there with document-based legacy processes and tools? You're not. If you want to change the game, you need to bring digital processes and data together. You want to use those to drive your innovation. That's the definition of digital transformation. When you capture your customer and regulatory requirements digitally, connect them to your system architecture, your design engineering, to your simulation, You're bringing your teams together. You're within the virtual world. You're creating your digital thread.